Canelo has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think safe to say Terence always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting fight.
You've always praised Terence as a special fighter. Do you think he can beat Canelo?
Who is Canelo? What Canelo is going to show up? The Canelo who's looking to cash a big check, or the Canelo that really wants to fight like a fighter? Now, the Canelo we've seen the last 2 years is not only boring, but doesn't really have an incentive to mix it up and to entertain people with a good fight.
If you look at Canelo's last couple of fights and you go back and look at the interviews with Bob Arum, what he's saying right now is not present in what he was saying back then. So if he did feel like that, Canelo was slipping and going for the money, even though, people have been saying that for a minute. But if you go back and you listen to what he's saying, that's not what he's saying. What he said then was more of what Canelo could do. He also said there's no way that Terence Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez. Now when it comes to Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez, he's saying, what's beating Canelo Alvarez? And when it comes down to it, Bob Arum has had his hands on some of the biggest stars in boxing. Matter of fact, the most. And lost all of them due to his character. End of story. So at one moment, Terence Crawford has no chance. And then, what is beating Canelo? That's nothing big. He ain't been fighting. He's been showing up for the money. He's been doing this. Now it's downplaying what Canelo is to really downplay what Crawford is doing. Because like I said, you go back and listen to the interviews, he ain't talking like this. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm saying he wasn't talking like this. That's all that I'm saying. So that's the big thing about Bob. Bob don't know how to treat people right because Bob still go off of that old pyramid belief. He believed everybody else come first, white fighter, Hispanic, and black at the bottom. He believes in that old motto. And even people that he doesn't, he still fucks over them. You got Manny Pacquiao fighting right now. Interesting fact. Everybody is worried about Floyd Mayweather's finances. To this day, you can find a video maybe about 3 weeks old, maybe even 4 days old, talking about Floyd Mayweather and his money and if he's going bankrupt. And like I said, they've been talking about that, Floyd going bankrupt, for 10 years. What nobody talks about is Manny Pacquiao's finances. Because you can't tell me it doesn't bother you to see that he's stepping in there in the ring. Somebody his age should not be stepping there in the ring, but he ain't got no choice because Bob robbed him. But everybody want to talk about Floyd's finances, but you seeing a broke fighter right in front of your eyes with Manny Pacquiao. He ain't doing that because he just loved the sport. Get real, come on. And to add on top of that, take a good look at Barrios. That's what he doing with his career. Anybody saying anything? No, because all the attention, all the pressure, all the demand is on the black fighters. Say it ain't true. He over there fighting Manny Pacquiao and don't nobody care. Because it don't mean nothing. Like, what does it mean? I said the same thing with the Crawford and Canelo fight, but, mean more than this. At least Canelo's active. But when it comes to Bob, he's always sour about something. But he had his hands on everybody. But couldn't do right by him. He blew all that time. They blew all that time. And Bob pulled all those strings, pumping Lomachenko. And they never could get Lomachenko off the ground. He sit up there pumping somebody that they couldn't even put on pay-per-view. He got it. Loma had to get put on pay-per-view because of his rivals, not him. Yet he had one of the biggest stars and pound-for-pound fighters currently in the world and was mistreating him. So to see him where he's at right now, Bob don't like it. So now it's, who's Canelo? What's fighting Canelo? He's boring. Now Canelo's boring. I can say a lot of things about Canelo, but boring don't ever come to mind. Fixed fights, PEDs and stuff like that come to mind, but I can never say I was necessarily bored by a Canelo fight. Even the garbage ones. It was shit fights. That's all. But he got to say that now. But anyways, that's my thoughts on this. Like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Van, I'm out.